We're down a whole lot of guys. We had more guys today over there with Coach Alosi riding the bike than we did out on the field. So we took the pads off. That wasn't the initial plan, but we wanted to get work done. And we did some more situational work. We did 2-minute. We did move the ball at the end, which we got coming out. We got short yardage. We got 3rd and long. We got goal line. We got red zone. So kind of a different type of practice, still productive, but you know, I want to come out here Saturday and have a great practice, and I felt like in order for us to do that with the limited numbers we have, we just needed to shorten it a little bit, and we needed to take the pads off. So that's what we did. The thing that we have to get better at, and it's what I told the players, is that the mindset that when the pads come off, the intensity can't drop and the concentration level can't drop. And I think that's just part of becoming a more mature football team and more mature football players. It's one thing that, you know, when you get to the next level, you never or hardly ever practice in pads. And I'm used to the mentality, we can take the pads off and still go, go, go. These kids haven't learned how to do that yet. So part of the process is just teaching them how to do that. So we're working through that, but we got good work in today. It was, you know, it's tough when you're down offensive linemen, when you're down defensive linemen, and you're down defensive backs. But I commend them for working hard.
Did you get? You were talking about you wanted to see a little better start to the day. Did you get that you were?
Yeah, well, we started differently because we started with a 2-minute. Yeah, it was good. You know, the thing about a 2-minute drive, or really any competitive situation, you know, you're looking for a better start, is that if one side does well, sometimes people think that that means the other side didn't do well. I just want to see competition, you know, and I saw competition right out of the gate, but it has to get better, and it will get better, and it can get better, and I think they understand it needs to get better. And we need to be a better football team practicing without full gear on, you know, so you can get out there and get your work in without just beating the dog at each other.
Do you think the lowered intensity is something to do with, you know, not tackling, kind of taking something off for that?
Yeah, probably, but I think part of growing up as a football team is being able to come out here and still switch it on when you don't have the pads on. You know, I think that there's something to that. I think that good football teams need to be able to come out here without the pads on and switch it on and go aggressively, but know when to pull up. I also think that's part of maturing. You know, and these guys, they're still growing up, and so we just have to continue to teach them, and they'll get it, and they are getting it.
Did you get feedback on Tuiapupupu?
He tore his ACL, unfortunately. So they're going to let the swelling go down a little bit, and then he's going to have reconstructive surgery. It's really unfortunate. And boy, he was doing a really good job for us too. You know, the competition between him and Epinesa was outstanding. I think it probably makes it all the more important that Ellis come back strong and that we can put him in the nose. You know, Kenny Clark's going to come in there and he's going to figure in. He's a good player. He's going to have to play for us as a freshman. But it's just unfortunate, and that's really our first major injury of the spring. You know, we've had sprains and pulls, but it's the first major one, and hopefully it's the last. You know, you hate to see it. It was a non-contact injury. He just turned to run, and his knee gave out. So I really feel bad for him because he's worked his butt off.
Will you be moving anybody else to nose, or will it just be kind of Clark?
Right now, we got Lee Epinesa, and we will have Ellis, and we'll have Kenny. We worked Ely in there a little bit today. You know, he's kind of got that body type. He's big and he's thick and he's strong and he can anchor. But right now, that's it. You know, 3 or 4 guys once we get Kenny in.
Eldridge said on Twitter last night that he had a setback of some sort. Is that?
Yeah, I think that he is so anxious to play, and I think that he did some things on his own where he pushed himself a little too hard, you know, and he just wants to play, he wants to be great. But what he has to do is he has to trust Coach Alosi and trust our athletic trainers to, you know, bring him along at the right pace. They've got experience with this stuff. This is his first torn ACL. So, you know, I talked to Coach Alosi a lot about it before practice or during practice, and he thinks that, you know, he had a little bit of a setback just because he pushed it, but nothing serious. And we just need to get him running correctly and being able to have strength in his knee where he can cut. I'm not worried about it. You know, I'd love to have him out here, but I'm not worried about it. He's still getting all the meeting time. He's still getting the mental reps, so it'll put him ahead once we get to fall.
That's about Isaiah Bowens. He's our linebacker coming off that ACL last year. His progression.
It's been tough, but he's worked through it. He doesn't have full extension yet, but he's out there working. We keep him out of the team stuff for the most part. But each day he gets a little bit better. His movement gets better. You see his quickness come back. The thing you like about Isaiah is his toughness. He's a tough soccer man. I mean, he's got a nasty streak when he's on the football field, and so we need him to come back. And I think we're doing the right thing the way we're progressing him back. And if he can be full speed at camp and having gotten all the individual and the stuff, the non-contact stuff through spring, I think that'll be really good for us.
How much does protecting Brett better this year have to do with Brett's decision making compared to the offensive line's plays?
Both. Yeah, I think it's equal. I do. I think that that he has to learn when to run or when to get rid of it. And it seems to me, I mean, you guys have watched every practice, like he's a lot more decisive in the pocket. It appears to me that way. When I watch the film, I see a much more decisive player. But we've got to do a better job of protecting him than we did last year, and we should. You know, we're going to be, besides Jeff Baca, we've got everybody returning. Now, some of those freshmen may be figuring in, maybe they don't. So we should be better that way. I still think our running backs need to step up and become better pass protectors. You know, Jonathan Franklin was a great pass protector, and that's a part of your job. So I expect us to be better because Brett's going to be a better decision maker, and we're just going to function better as an offensive line and a running back.
So it's as much him protecting himself as the
but that's the way it is for every quarterback. Yeah, knowing when to give up on a play.
Have you seen him handle days like today where he wasn't really throwing the ball as well as he could? How's he handled that differently than a year ago?
He hasn't changed a whole lot in that. The one thing that always impressed me about Brett, and one of the reasons that we felt like he should be the starter last year, is that he doesn't get rattled. You know, he'll have a bad series, or he'll make a bad mistake, you know, throw an interception in 2 minutes or take a sack, and I'm reverting back to last spring, and he learns from it and he comes back. So I haven't seen him ever really get down on himself. I expect him, you know, to come back, and he's one of those guys that if he has a bad play, it's not like, hey, take me out and let me gather myself. It's like, man, put me back in. I want to go again. I want to go again. And I love that about him.
We saw him refuse to come out there.
Did he? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, is that kind of what you expect from him, though?
Yeah, I love that about him. You know, as long as it's, you know, he's still doing what we ask him to do. But you love to see that fight in him. He's a stud, man. He's going to be a great player for us.
Yes, we saw that in the spring. That's why we named him the #1 quarterback. You guys made it
before I decided. Yeah.
It seems the transition a lot better than his progressions as well. His decision making and making that.
Looks like it, huh?
Yeah.
There was times last year he'd get in the pocket in games and he'd drop back and it wasn't there, and he looked like he'd look down at his feet, you know, to see, or he'd look at the rush, and now his eyes are up more and he's boom, 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 and he's working. I totally agree with you, and that's what should happen, and it should just keep getting better and better. Do you like that? Boom, boom, boom?
Boom, boom, boom.
All right.
How do you spell that?
All right. Thanks a lot.